Hello everybody! Bem-vindos a mais um PT Football Live, episódio 25, hoje com o Sr. Awal, Coach Awal. Mais uma vez temos o nosso amigo Meet connosco.
Hoje, pessoal.
O Meet hoje preparou-se a rigor, reparem bem, o Meet hoje decidiu preparar-se a rigor aqui para a conversa com o Coach Awal. Bem-vindos, nós já não aparecemos aqui há algum tempo, eu estive nos Coratos para até correu bem.
Mata a saudade.
Não, também foi um bocado. Foi para não ter tratado esta burocracia toda. E até correu bem porque o Vitor ficou sem luz. Eu fiquei encarregue de distribuir a informação, por isso até nem correu muito mal.
Meet. Que eu fiz da outra vez.
We are just doing the introduction in Portuguese and then we go to English.
Absolutely.
Meet, queres explicar aí como é que as cenas vão acontecer?
Ora bem, tal como. Deixem-me só. Que senão atrofio aqui com o espelho. Tal como nós costumamos fazer, nós vamos estar aqui hoje a conversar com o Coach Awal, tal como nós dissemos. E se vocês quiserem se juntar à conversa, participar, é só entrarem no link do nosso grupo do Discord, também a nossa comunidade do Discord, onde nós muitas vezes falamos sobre o futebol americano. E podem entrar, juntam-se à chamada connosco, nós vamos vos puxar para a chamada. E vão poder fazer as vossas perguntas e vão poder conversar com o Awal de maneira que as vossas dúvidas ou aquilo que vocês queiram conversar seja mais fácil do que só interagirmos nos comentários. E então é uma maneira um bocadinho mais dinâmica de nós podermos interagir, ainda por cima com um convidado tão esperado como o que nós temos hoje.
Só para dizer, se ouvirem um bocado de feedback, por favor digam que para saber que pode ter a ver com o meu.
Eu estou com eco.
O meu amigo. Estás com eco?
Estou.
Mas estás só do teu ou do Awal também? Eu meto-te um bocado mais baixo. Pronto, estás a falar muito alto, man. Tens de falar mais baixo.
Se calhar.
By the way, Meet, que por acaso o Páscoa apontou aqui bem. Como é que tu estás? Espera aí, eu vou tentar.
Começando por aí, já estou bem melhor. Agora já estou bem, já posso dizer que estou recuperado. Ainda há um processo longo de recuperação ainda, mas pelo menos o pior já passou e já estou pronto para outra.
Boa. Isso é positivo. Awal, welcome. Now it's changed to English. Welcome, Awal. So I don't know. So you don't know. Sorry.
Wait. Awal, next time we bring you here, you better be speaking Portuguese, man.
That's the goal right now. I'm working on that. But in due time, I'll be back.
Because for how many years have you been in Portugal now? And
so previously, I believe I was there for about 2 seasons. From 2016, I believe 2017, roughly around there. I was here for about 2 seasons, and and I decided to come back. I felt the love here. I felt the passion. I felt, the will of everybody really wanted to learn football. Most importantly, it only made sense for me to come back.
Yes,
I like that.
You grew a family.
That's a good plan.
You grew a family in Portugal. So Nuno Pascoa is already saying good night, coach.
He's talking to me for sure.
Yeah. Daz is saying ready for another one. I don't know if it's talking with Meet or with Awal, but I think it's with Meet. So just for you to know how this normally works. So we'll be the three of us will be talking, and there's always there will always be there's the possibility of other people joining the conversation. So they in the Discord where we are, they can join the conversation and come and talk with us. So basically that's the goal of the podcast. So Awal, how is so you had some troubles coming here, and how is life now? How was the transition? The jet lag and stuff.
No troubles as far as travels. Travels went pretty smooth. Landed here. I was welcome to the team, so everything worked out perfect for me. I would say the only challenging part for me right now is just getting acclimated with the weather.
Oh yeah, but still, the weather is being pretty nice. No rain here,
Yeah,
so
I know. I'm just somebody that likes to be in the warm weather at all times. So that's
yeah.
the only thing that I'm getting acclimated with. Outside of that, everything's been going well. I'm meeting the new team and able to open up and get the guys going.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
one thing
yeah. Wait.
I would like to ask is because I'll let you speak soon, Leach. But
No,
because
it's
you
gonna.
haven't been here for a while,
Yeah.
and we are not used to have imports here anymore. Because when you came here, we were used to with the Devils, with the Sharks, with the Lumberjacks. They brought a lot of imports. So probably a lot of people started playing football since you left, and maybe they don't really know you anymore the way people used to when you were with the Dragons or even with the Renegades. So I would like to ask you for a little presentation, also a little bit of your football journey, not only in the States and also in Europe.
Okay. So a little bit about my football journeys. I was actually a very late developer, and that's what makes it a lot special for me. Just like most kids and most adults that you're gonna find abroad outside of America, football is not your first sport. But with me, I was just surrounded around football, basketball, track, and different things that I just did a bunch of everything and never really focused on the football aspect of things. And eventually, um, pursued football in high school. Played for 2 years. Lucky enough to receive a scholarship, and where I went to University of St. Francis in Illinois, and played there. Was All American out there for one season. Then later transferred to Union College. Was All American there as well. Um, Decided to leave college and I pursued my career in Europe, where I played in Hungary with Edgar Heroes and a few other teams as far as here in Portugal. And like I said, my journey has been great. After Portugal, I later played in the CAFL, which is a Chinese Arena Football League. I played there for the Beijing Lions, where we made it to the finals. Unfortunately, we lost, but it was a great experience and being able to teach the sport of football all around, and also see it develop throughout different age ranges. It's amazing.
Yeah,
And
that's
and you
great.
see
And
Corona, and you saw Corona right firsthand because you were at
you were in Wuhan,
you were
right?
in China in the moment that Corona started.
Correct. Unfortunately, it kind of affected a lot of the football life, and I'm just grateful I still have the opportunity to coach right now, and those doors have opened up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great, and especially because, like you said, here is a place that for sure I know you were really loved, because even the people that you were going to play against you still have a lot of respect, and they really care about you because of the things, or the way that you left things here. But I would like to ask you a little bit of the way that it was in China, because we also had another coach that was here, and he also had the experience to work in China. But I would like to hear it from you how it was, because it's not a country that people usually think of when they think of football.
Correct. In regards to what exactly, as far as like just the overall way of football, you mean?
Yeah. Like, what was your responsibilities? Because I know you were with a lot of kids, right? And
Yeah.
it works like a little franchise that you had there.
Correct. So
How
pretty much
was?
what I did, I worked for a company out there where we were in charge of kids ages 3 to about 15. We coached them from the flag level to the flag level, tackle level, and even the youth. I mean, I don't know what age you would say, 3 to 4, but that level of kids as well. But
Wow.
3 to
we were
4.
able, absolutely,
Jesus.
absolutely, 6, 3. I think it was a great way of getting kids acclimated into the sport, and because education is so hard out there, that's an outlet, into the sports world, and we're able to do great things out there in China. It was quite an amazing experience, and throughout what I learned out there, I plan on implementing that out here as well, with our kids and from the kids, women, and adults, So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely. And because I can imagine, even though you are used to with coaching, I can imagine how different it might be the interaction with kids, especially being such a young age.
Right.
The patience and the ability to adapt to teaching the same things, and sometimes, especially being a game that is so hard and so tough, and needing to sometimes teach violence to these kids, but also at the same time being an educator. And
Right.
I think that's a very nice experience to have in life.
Absolutely, absolutely. I believe, quite honestly, what made the experience much more easy for guys like myself is we have guys like you guys and that have previously played football, or the Portuguese guys that have previously played football that are able to be alongside. So whatever I say in English or that the kid might not be able to get, this guy was able to pick up and at least translate that to the kid, and which made it more so easier for us to both work together and develop the kids.
Yeah, because I can imagine those kids not speaking any English, right?
Absolutely, it was. I
So
mean,
you are a
you're
fluent
gonna get
Chinese speaker.
I was going to say, how many words you know how to say in Chinese?
yeah, quite honestly, it's a 50%. It's about half the kids would speak English and half the kids won't, and more so than other, you have more of the kids understand you just by context clues.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's cool.
that's crazy. That's nice.
Okay.
Every time I think of China and I think of what you and the other guy we had was Paulo. Every
Correct.
time
Paulo
every
Pilar.
time I think about it, I'm always amazed. Like
Absolutely.
it's such a ambitious project that you guys did. So
Right.
I'm always fascinated about it.
Absolutely. It was a great project, and I was very grateful to be part of that. Like I said, we were able to have camps with over 300 kids where we're able to host different events and bring awareness to the program, uh, by both coaching them the correct fundamentals of playing the sport and also giving them opportunities to grow beyond uh, the country's level of football and obtain different scholarships if the opportunity presented itself, or play at the international level.
So
Absolutely, and
Paul Pilar is here commenting, saying we work together in China in the same company.
Absolutely,
yeah, that was
absolutely,
the guy we interviewed the
Yeah,
other day.
we talked
absolutely.
to.
That's actually, I knew of him through mutual friends, and all I heard was great things about him.
Yeah. So we have a couple of comments already. Eddie saying sup, and then Darth saying hey everybody, and saying the goat is back. So he's
Sir,
calling you the goat, Portuguese goat. So I will just do a little a pause para toda a gente que quiser participar na conversa e que queira perguntar coisas ao Wall ou puxar assuntos, pode juntar através do Discord, aparece aí o link. Juntem-se ao Discord, falem aqui, entrem na conversa e perguntem diretamente coisas ao Wall ou escrevam nos tópicos que nós também podemos perguntar ao Wall ou nos comentários.
Exatamente.
Mas
Até porque estava alguém no lounge e agora já não está. E por isso, se essa pessoa quiser voltar para lá,
juntem-se ao waiting room e fiquem lá um bocadinho que a gente puxa-vos para a conversa.
exatamente.
So Awal, how is what do you like, or do you see any how do I say this? So do you see some kind of bright future? Did you know the president? Did you heard about the president, Portuguese president of the federation?
absolutely. That was actually one of the things that interested me in considering coming back here was just understanding that we had somebody that had a better structured than before, and had goals that surpasses what I thought. And
Okay.
with that being a big factor into that, that's something that led guys like myself, well, guys like me here, or led me here, I should say. Um,
Okay.
Again, all I've heard is good things about it. I've yet to meet him, and I'm looking forward to it. However,
Okay.
Perfect.
But and do you think that this is a good step for? I mean, I imagine yes, because you came here because of that. But
right?
do you see good things coming for Portugal, or what is your perspective on it?
Especially
Absolutely.
after COVID.
Um, I think we're surrounded around football. We're just the only country that hasn't really pushed on to the next step of things. And having a guy like him, step into the plate and actually take over, um, I just see nothing but great things happening. And like I said, a lot of his plans that I've heard have nothing but great things to say about him. So with those in mind, I think the future is bright, and whatever he has to offer us, we're grateful for it. Because again, we're in a position where the sport is pretty much starting from the bottom, and to have somebody like that's willing to put the effort out there just to make the sport grow here, we can't do nothing but be grateful about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest question now is going to be the execution part. How well are we prepared as teams, players, as um, staff of the teams? How well prepared are we to actually get those tools or get to work to those goals? Because I think mm, the thing that was missing the most, and especially here in Portugal, it's the example I can speak of, is that it was always a me type of mentality. Like my team, I'm winning, my
Right.
players, and even in the meetings that they would have in the so-called federation, it was
Right.
always about everyone trying to get as much as possible for their team.
Right.
Even if that means it wasn't the best decision sometimes for the whole league or the whole situation about football, and
Right.
people were used to not developing or not evolving in terms of us as a sport,
Mhm.
because they're like, we had the mentality of the people that go play in the end of the day, and we meet up for a beer after the game, and that's it. That's not as
Right.
much as athlete mentality. And actually, that's something I'm bringing this up because that's something that you brought up a lot, especially in the transitions for the Dragons, where we all just had to play, and we didn't need to pay anything to play the game.
Right.
And the mentality that you brought was exactly that. That we were the first ones to show how was the sport in Portugal. That people would look at our Instagrams or our Facebook. I remember you talking about that, and they would see if we were really a football player or not, and the way we lived our life would show how big was football in our life, and that would be the first indicator of the state of football in Portugal. So I think that's the main thing that we as players and teams need to focus now. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. I think, like I said, it starts from first. I treat this sport as a brotherhood first and foremost. So everything I do when it comes to working out and doing everything, I almost do it identical to like my teammates. So with that being said, having the right structure, like you said, from um, caring about working out, caring about showing up to practice, caring about football in general. That's a very big part of it because again, in order for it to fully evolve to what we need it to be and where it could be like the rest of the European leagues, um, we have to start there. Most importantly, and I believe again throughout Europe that is a problem to have players to actually care. But again, I believe with the guys that we have as a president, with the plans he has coming up. Again, it's going to bring that extra awareness to programs, as far as hey, we need to clean up our, our uh, our pages. We need to present ourselves as a business and not just guys that want to hang out, because again, that's where it's headed, that's where it's headed, and we just need to cut off the other stuff and get to where we need to get to.
Absolutely, and I think that's the what it needs to be, because the people that don't want to evolve, I think they just need to be left in the way for the sport to keep growing. And I think that's something that ends up happening just because of the flow of things. But yeah, I 100% agree with you. And this is a question that I know the answer, but for people that are listening.
Said that.
No, but well, because of a lot of stuff. But do you have plans on trying to build that type of culture, and like you said, like the things that you did in China? Do you have plans in the future of trying to create something for the youth here in Portugal?
Absolutely. That's my main goal. Again, it starts with the youth. Again, the one thing we have to understand, especially as adults that play in the game, is we have a certain time frame, and after that, our lives take over, and not everybody wants to keep the sport. But as long as we have the youth involved, we're gonna keep growing. We're gonna have guys that have been in programs for over 10 years or whatever the case might be, and they could implement their knowledge back into the kids as well, and we keep it growing from that. So I think that's one of the big things for me, just in general. Just focus on the youth, and let's keep with our flag teams. Not necessarily tackle just yet, but once we get to a certain age, then we could focus on the tackle part. But as long as you learn the fundamentals of the game, the transition is going to be much more easier than somebody just seeing the football practice and kind of doubting it.
Yeah, from basically out of nowhere, just here's some pads and some and a helmet.
Yeah.
Go hit that guy or get hit by that guy. And normally it was Thumper.
Yeah,
so.
And you're like 20 or 21 when that's the first time you're exposed to football, like in your life.
Right.
I'm playing flag. Wait. I'm playing flag now with retired guys that have 23 years old.
They are retired.
They're retired, but because they got injured also. But still, they played football for like most of their life, so they just
but for the thing that you were saying about flag football, and I think that right now the way that flag football can be used as a tool is not really thinking of getting them to wear pads or getting them to play full tackle, but also creating new fans of the sport, because we know those kids that right now are starting to try out, they will look for people to look up to, the same way we have Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar, Messi, and all those people that you naturally look up to when you're in Portugal, because this is a football or soccer country.
Absolutely.
If those kids, when those kids are presented to football and flag football, and they are trying to be better at it, they will look for those Odell Beckham Juniors and those spectacular catches. They will look to Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes and try to be like them.
Yeah.
But or even they will look for Awal or other players that they can see here in Portugal, and that will bring them to the stands. That will bring them to the games that we have here. And I think that is the biggest step that we can have, is create new fans, especially in the youth age. And for example, we have a kid that is eight years old now, and he's playing with us in the Hammers Academy. That kid is like, I've never seen a kid like that, because he's talking about football, he's talking about college, he's talking about players in the NFL, and seeing that from a kid in Portugal is something so special, and that's what and I think that's the future. Like that's what we really need to aim and to focus on. And I think you're really a good person to do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just sorry.
And like I said, with that, I'm happy to take that role just because I know there's a passion for the game, and more so than anything, it's just a lack of experience and lack of outlets to showcase this.
Okay. Paulo Pilar said coaching kids, that's the key for bright future for football here in Portugal with the DEP. And said, as we did in China. And Vasco Souza said, welcome back, Awal. I hope you don't do a great job as you did before, but I know you will. Keep the bar up so we can win fair and square. See you soon. That's nice. Awal,
but I have a question. Wait, I have a question about one key, very important thing for me, especially that you said there, and that was sometimes when you're a football player, life happens and you move on from the game, and you need to have other things. When does life happen to you? Tell me the date. Tell me the age. Are you going to be like Tom Brady, retiring as after 40s? I need to know, man.
So for me, actually, how pretty much that is transitioned for me is pretty much, and that's one of the things I'm going to start my podcast. So it's we actually focus on entrepreneurship and sports. One being a lot of athletes, can't show up. I can't teach somebody, hey, this is the way to live life if it's just sports, But if I could teach you life also with it, it makes the transition easier for somebody else to believe that, especially for a parent to believe,
Yeah.
And with that being said, I've been focused more so on I'm an entrepreneur first, and football is second to me because without football could be taken away from me like a pandemic, and I have to get back to something, which is life. So,
yeah, absolutely.
With that being said, that's been my way of pretty much growing in the football world, and just evolving that way because I don't want to rely on one thing, but I also have a passion,
And I think that's what's been keeping you up, especially these last few years, because at least the way I saw your post on Instagram, and it was a very, I would even say, touching post that you wrote about mental health, and the way the last 2 years have been tough on you, basically. And I think though that entrepreneurship vein that you have was something that kept you afloat the last 2 years, right?
Absolutely. That's the only thing that kept me outside of my family and friends. That's the only thing that kept me really humble, and to understand that things could go sour, but at the same time, it was just a good transition phase for me because I needed that to happen. I needed the negatives to see certain negatives in order to gain certain positives out of it. And I got to give big shout out to my guys Joey and who has living for a living.
Nice, yeah.
Where's he? Finland.
Yeah, he's in Finland.
He was here in Portugal a few months ago, when we were having the Fundadores tournament. I was with him actually 2 times when I went to Lisbon. I tried to meet with him here in Porto, couldn't. Went to watch 2 games in Lisbon, found him twice. So yeah, but he's a nice guy. I really like him.
But when I watch guys like that and how they maneuver, and inspires me as well. Because I have to focus on things I can control, and sometimes you can't really control the sport, but but you got to take care of yourself, and that's the one thing. Like I said, that's a topic I have coming on, and we're gonna do great things.
And I love how our sports and sometimes business is so relatable. There's a podcast I like to listen to in Spotify, and is a entrepreneur also that only interviews athletes
Right.
that after they end up playing,
Right.
they start any type of business or something to still be
Right.
active, especially in the community. Sometimes it's with sports, sometimes it's not, but
Right.
the way it's so relatable, like you have the competition, you have to be prepared, you have to do all that preparation that sometimes you also do in sports. You
Right.
don't really go to the gym to
Right.
prepare for that, but there's other things that you need to do to prepare. And I think that those two things are so relatable, and I found it very interesting that you brought it up.
Right. Yeah, it's a good correlation because again, once entrepreneurship, you have to you set a goal for yourself, and the main goal is achieving it. Same way as you're doing when you play sports, that the end result is a championship. But with right preparation and right steps, and you're heading towards a goal. It's kind of transition fluidly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let me just thank you, Pedro Escaleira, for the follow. I forgot back that he did it a while back. And Nuno Pascoe said, "Man, I'm 43 and I'm still learning from Coach Awal. So to the kids will be great, but old guys like me can also learn. That's why imports are great for us to learn
Absolutely.
from who knows." It knows, by the way, it's not written like that. It's with a K. It's you're saying from who knows. Okay, doesn't matter.
I need
but
to say this. That's very good to read that from
yes,
Mats player.
Yeah, I agree
Mats
with
player.
that.
That's very good to read that from a
That's
Mats
good.
player.
Because I think
sentence imports are very important.
No, because the thing is that I think people that didn't, or players or teams that didn't have an import, they don't know exactly what an import is. So they think that an import is a guy that goes there and carries the team. Well, it might be, it can happen. But in our case, for example, I can say in our case, like Awal was like super helpful, like toward us and helping us grow all together, and not just like him carrying. He could carry, everybody saw that, but he helped us grow a lot together, and I think that's a huge growth to the game itself, not only for the players but for the whole league. And we saw it with the Dragons and with my Renegades. Like the whole league was growing a lot, and then the imports go away and the league died. So Darth Payne asks,
and more than anything, if I can stress this more than anything, I have to give special thanks to a very good person that helped me along the way in order to reach that goal, Manuel Catano. And Manuel was a very big part in the sport here in Portugal, as far as his vision towards and without him, a lot of what I did with the Dragons, and when I said Manuel, there's a team of guys, like a team of people, Manuel Catano, Miguel Barbosa, a few guys I could list. Without those guys, the vision of what I had would never been possible, and without those guys, like again, I would not be here to have this conversation with you.
Yeah, true. And without my couch.
Manel is a very controversial name now in Portugal.
Yes, it's taboo. Now it's taboo, man. Now it's a taboo. You cannot say his name. It's like Voldemort. Darth has a question for you. What's the feeling knowing that you're gonna play against your old team? It's not. Well, it is your old team, but it's not your old team. But yeah.
One more time.
What's the feeling of knowing you're going to play against your old team?
Okay. There's no feeling. It's just it's football. At the end of the day, it's 11 men across from each other, and best man wins. Whoever has a better strategy that game and can put the better chess pieces together is going to come up with the outcome. And at the end of the day, all we could ask from both teams is play football correctly and more than anything, be a representation of the sport. You know,
Yeah.
we don't want to. Again, when we're trying to build, we're at the building stage of things. So when it comes to football, we want to show
Yeah.
kids how to play, and it's not an ego game. It's nothing of that nature. We want to show kids how we play football and how we play football the right way, and more so than anything, um, hoping for growth. You know.
Yeah. There's also Ulop. Okay, so do you want to add something?
I was going to say, because Pasqua is
leaving.
Pasqua is saying that he's leaving. I was going to say that the Mutts in their Instagram are very kind to him, because he wrote in the comments that he said, "Man, I'm 43 and still learning," and the Mutts just posted a picture of him saying he's 37. So you better thank the marketing guy that is doing this, because he thinks you're younger than, you look younger than 43. That's a fact, but you need to check that to make sure it's right.
Okay. Hugo Lopes Stamper ask Awal and Meet, how will it be facing each other as head coach? Awal, you go first, and then Meet will answer his answer.
Well, like I said, for me, it's not Mid is a great friend of mine, and you're a great friend of mine as well. And outside of that, I play football just to be fair. You know, best man wins. I don't take anything from it. I'm not gonna cry about it, but again, I know I will put my best foot forward with whoever I play. So, in those regards, I always hope to come up with a W, and you know, and
no hard feelings.
No hard feelings. But at the end of the day, I play to win. But with that being said, I hope the same thing for Coach Mitt is he plays to win as well. You know, so at the end of the day, best team wins that day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Meat is like dying inside.
No,
come
I'm
on,
not
Meat, let it out.
I wonder. The thing is, I just want to laugh about the whole situation, because it's so. Life is so funny sometimes, and being this my first real experience as a full-time coach now, and having the opportunity to game plan against the wall and being on the other side of the field, and 100% is going to be very hard. And I hope you're slower now, but the
that's never going to be a thing, you know.
But the just the opportunity to use some things that he taught me, and some things that I was able to learn. And like you said, football in the end of the day is just a game, and beating someone like a wall 100% will be probably the best feelings that I will have in my football career, because you want to beat the best when you're playing, and someone competitive as I am, as you are, you always want to play against the best ones, and you want to beat the best ones.
And this is just for everybody that's viewing this. This is a perfect example of what want the games to look like in the future. You know, with me being able to coach Mitt years ago, and him evolving this game of football and be able to give back into his own community of football, and just help the awareness of it and keep building. That's what that's the end goal right there. You know, is to keep that ritual going. And then the day we're gonna get to the top level with that type of mindset of things, and being actually somebody that cares. I can't do nothing but give you props for that, bro. You know?
Yeah, and I think also one thing that is very important, and it was lacking in Portugal, and I think probably not all players will be able to think like that or do that, but we are now playing on different teams. We have like, you have players on your team that play with me, and I have players on my team that played with you, but in the end of the day, I'm here speaking with you. There's people in the comments that are no longer with you. There's people in the comments that are playing with you and already played with me, and it's all love. And we will need to hit each other. Not me, not anymore for at least 6 months, but we will need to hit each other in the field. But after football, that's life. And I think there was a big problem. There still is a big problem in Portugal overall, of bad blood after you go to another team, or after you
Yeah, but
separate.
I think that
it
comes from
will still
soccer.
happen.
I think that comes from soccer, from the soccer mentality. It's like, oh, you go to the other team. Oh, you are not from my family anymore, and I wish you death. And this is just a sport that people like to play, and it's like, what? So he's still my friend, and I can still play against him. It's like, don't you play PlayStation against your friends? This is not your friend anymore because he's playing PlayStation against you.
At the end of the day, how I view it is we play a competitive sport, and nobody likes to play to lose. I don't like to play to lose, so I expect that from whoever I play with. So after that, I can't be mad at you. You just beat me in the game. It's okay, but at the end of the day, I know the next time I will face you, I will better strategize in order to come up with a W.
Yeah.
So that's it's just about learning and evolving from each experience. Not every loss any team is going to get is a bad thing. It's a learning experience, and that goes for my team and the other teams. But at the end of the day, we're going to come in with a good plan. And the exact goal is to execute the plan. And if we don't execute the plan and come up with a loss, I expect that because we didn't execute the plan. But if the other team executed their plan, I have no choice but to respect that.
Yeah, and one thing that I've been like about all this whole situation is about recruiting.
Right.
There's a lot of because when we think about how recruitment is in the United States, like either if you're in high school going to college, there's a very hard competition. Like coaches go really, really hard to get their players. And here you almost need to ask and beg to be able to speak to someone that you want on your team, and you're like, can I please go talk? Because people will get so mad that you're stealing players and doing stuff like that. I've got messages saying don't recruit so hard, type of stuff, But you've been being a head coach already in Portugal, and I remember the mentality that we had in the Dragons. We didn't care where you were from. We didn't care what team you played for the previous year. If you were with us, you were a Dragon. You had a new mentality. How do you view like the way recruitment is in Portugal?
Quite honestly, I'm not. I don't think there's a certain way to do it yet, and we're still trying to figure it out. At the end of the day, it's hard enough to get, people into the sport. So us selling it the right way by, again, the right marketing strategy and doing different things of that nature, I believe going to get the players,
Yeah, but I think meet is meaning like, for example, I mean, these two teams that your team and me team are both in Porto. Is talking more like, imagine you talking with a guy from Meet team or Meet talking with a guy from your team.
No, not necessarily.
But I'm doing this example. Yeah, it can be from Lisbon, doesn't matter. No, I'm doing this.
That is not now
yeah, but it's not in your team. I'm just doing this example. Because the example that he gave, it was like several coaches going to one guy and trying to bring him to the team. It's like the same, I think it happens in the NFL. It's like they go to one guy and try to recruit him. Like normally it's in a free agency time, but here there's no free agency. So,
and quite honestly, that's just the nature of the game, and it's always going to be like that. And whatever coach wants the best players on his team, or and there's nothing that's going to stop that outside of it being the legal way, which is just doing things the right way and approaching the guy and not trying to sell him a dream or whatever the case might be. If a different team or somebody you see on the street, whatever it is, we're not selling him a dream, we're selling him an opportunity to play football.
And I think at the end of the day, it's also that player's decision, so it doesn't really matter. It's like, oh, I prefer to play for Meat. I prefer to play for Awal. I like more like Awal's practice. I like more the Meat's mentality. It's like, there's something that you identify normally with a coach, and
Absolutely,
it's
absolutely.
what's made you stay. It's not or the team also.
Absolutely.
But we have some. Pintão said, "See you in the field." O Tamper said, "I'll be on the stands watching." And then he said, talking about recruiting, meet how was getting players from the Mets and now losing them again right before the season starts. Ooh, that was blood.
Example. That was a perfect example. There's people that
You know, in a situation like that, it's
no,
at the end of the day,
that's the
it's
recruiting part of the game.
some things that is out of our control. You know, if whoever wants to play for, you know, you just have to
Yes,
respect that. And you know,
exactly.
and
100%. I didn't want to use any example that was in favor of me, but now that Thumper brought that example, that is against me. You know, that is a perfect example of people that first they decided they wanted to come with me, and the Mets, using their recruitment strategy after bringing you, they thought, okay, we feel better playing with Awal, and they left. I talked with the phone with every single one of them. They explained it to me, and we are still great friends. For example, now that I was in the hospital, those 3 players, every single one of them, send me messages more than once during the week to check on me, to see how I was. And that's exactly the example that I was trying to bring up, is that we are trying to set an example of how to play a competitive sport, not be mad about each other in the life that we live. We are still friends in the end of the day. I needed to adapt and to game plan differently, need to add new players. Maybe a rookie will need to step up or something like that, but that's the challenge of it. And that was a perfect example that Thumper brought up.
At the end of the day, it's like you really want somebody in your team that doesn't want to play for you. It's like no, right? So
and the one thing we're gonna have to understand is, at the end of the day, it's a physical game first and foremost. So I understand the physicality of it. Outside of it being a physical game, let's just, you know, let's just keep it cordial, because at the end of the day, nobody wins out of any of those situations, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're just spending so much energy inside of the field that there's none to use it outside. And if you have, then you are not playing the sports correctly. I have a question for you all. How have you been in Mets practice already as a coach?
Yes, sir.
And how is that been going?
Practice has been really fun. You know, we're getting the ball up and rolling. Everything is going how it's supposed to. You know, sure. Just like any other team, we're always recruiting. You know, we're looking for any players that are interested in playing. And again, like Coach Mitt said, I don't turn anybody down. You know, if you're a coachable person, come on, and I'm sure he feels the same way.
And I think you can add Friday. Mm-hmm. Friday you'll have I think open tryouts, right?
Absolutely. We have open tryouts this upcoming Friday, and I believe it should be on the team page.
It is. It's on the Mets page.
So yeah, always a good time to bring that up too, and to bring more awareness about the Mets and what you're doing. And I have a question, and the thing that I'm a little curious about is, how was it to, because you arrived in Portugal last week, or the recent weeks.
Mm-hmm.
How was it to prepare the team being in the States? Like, how is that dynamic? Mm-hmm. Because I know you are such a personal relationship type of person. Like, you really want to, and I think the way that you influence the team the most is by being there, being intense, talking with them. How was for you to not be there and maybe get that away from you as a coach? And how were you able to adapt and to turn around that to then be able to help your players?
Right. So the transition for me was pretty much it wasn't much of a hard transition because one, I had a few players of mine that played with me previously that were able to get the right things, like the right messages across, and with those guys being a big help for me while I was gone, it made the transition for me flying into the country kind of easy, because again, everybody's up to par with my style of playing, you know. Uh, I say yeah, it wasn't much of a hard transition, but we just hope to keep working from here and building on up.
I think that's the importance of having a culture, right? Like when you have the and when you get to the players and when you install the culture that you want, the players are going to be the first ones to help you and get to the level that you want to get with the other players. And I think that's one of the most important things. And I'm for sure trying to replicate some of what you did in the Dragons. I'm trying to replicate here in the Renegades, and it's something that I always remember for the culture, doing everything for the culture, because like you said, just having a group of players already knowing how you was so much more easier to help you in the process. So yeah, I think that's special.
Absolutely.
Well, sorry, were you gonna add something?
I'm listening.
Okay. I have next. I would like to know what is your expectation for the Mets, knowing that they are a different team as the Renegades were or the Dragons were, because the Renegades, or and the other day we were talking, me and Meat were talking, and the truth is that the Renegades were a team that were used to lose. So you get into a losing mentality and you change it up. And that motivated everybody because what you said made people get motivated. But now you are going to a mentality that is a winning mentality, that is the Mets. They are used to win. Do you see that as a challenge? Do you see that as did you even think about it, or?
Quite honestly, since my very first day meeting the team, I felt zero obstacles to have to deal with as far as the players or anything like that. Everybody has, showed me the respect that I would show them, and that even though they were used to winning, there's always room for improvement. It's through fundamentals, it's through a certain way of doing things. Everybody's, I treat everybody like myself. I'm a sponge, Any information I can soak in, I'm willing to soak in. So I try to do the same for everybody, and hopefully, with my style of doing things, you're able to soak in something in order to give you a little motivation and wanting to play the sport better, or even want to play the sport.
And what is your perspective for the Mets then?
My perspective on this year is again, this is going to be a great year for me. I just see us doing great things. Again, we're working on our fundamentals. I'm pretty, like I said, we're about a few weeks in with the team, so we've been trying to get a lot of tweaks, a lot of bad habits out the way. Again, those bad habits weren't necessarily bad. The game just wasn't evolved at the time. And with me coming here, I'm able to fix those things, and we're going to improve from there and get better as a team overall.
I think people. Sorry. That's just me. I think people that are listening, they don't realize what Awal is saying because they never experienced that. But I can tell you that that's those essentials that people think they have when an American player comes, or an import or a coach. That those essentials are probably I don't remember anybody in our team that had the essentials. Even if they played for, I don't know, 5 years or 6 years, they didn't have the essentials correct. And only after the imports, they said, oh my God, this is really how it's done. Damn, I thought I was doing it correctly, and this is not correct.
And it's a good thing. And to put into things into perspective. It doesn't necessarily have to be an import thing. It's just about having the right coaching, you know.
But yeah, man. But the right coaching in Portugal, they don't do like outside scouting, and they don't do outside. They only see the
Unless
Portugal.
meet.
Yeah, but it's only they only see it like inside of Portugal and how things are done in Portugal or their experience. Most of the coaches are by their own experience, and like Meet is also like that. Yeah, by your own experience, he's teaching, and that's how coaches work in Portugal.
That's a great thing. And it's a great thing just to even have that, you know, that care. Like I said, we're getting somewhere. You know, we have in recent years we have players that have been able to play abroad. You know, play outside the Portugal region, and that shows that there's hope here. You know, and not only hope, but there's an outlet. We don't want to focus our players on playing outside, but we want to develop the game in here first.
Yeah,
and,
correct.
You know,
but that's how Portugal works. The good goes outside, and the shit stays in Portugal.
Again, with how everything is evolving, you know, with a new leader on board, you know, all we could do is like, you know,
hope for the best.
Shoot those ideas to him, and you know, hopefully he's able to understand how he is able to evolve in all ways.
Yeah, Meet. You
And
were gonna say?
I was going to say, how is it to now be playing with players like Cunha, like Simões, especially Cunha, because he was a nightmare for your ankles when we were all would play against the Mutts. Now you don't have to worry about him tackling you. How is it like the experience of now, not talking about the rest of the team, but now these veteran players? How are they like embracing you, and how is it to work with these guys?
That's great because the great thing about those guys right there, especially those two names you mentioned, one thing I've realized is whenever we have drills or whatever we're doing, they're the first in line. That shows me that leadership, let alone is carrying on to the rest of the teams, and you know, and every drill we do, they want to be first up. They want to be the first to finish. They want to do it right, and you know, overall, just give the game the respect it needs, you know, in order for it to evolve. And all I see is great things, especially out of those two guys, like both Simões and Cunha. Very great guys, very great athletes. Great representation of what, you know, Portugal football is. You know, if you keep up with those guys, you're able to see that they're able to again show you how we play football.
And I gotta say, you have one player that is very special to me, and I really hope you take good care of him. And he's Rafa, the quarterback. Probably one of the quarterbacks. He's probably one of the youngest players that you probably have there. He was with us in the Hammers, and he still practices with us in the Hammers. So I think it's going to be beneficial for him to have you teaching him. And not an infiltrator, not at all. But it's going to be very good because he told us he wanted to play for the Mutts, and he wanted to have the opportunity to be there. And I really just hope the best for him. And I think it's going to be special to have you as a coach, as a coach, coaching him now, and especially in such a tough position as quarterback.
Right. And it's going to be a great it's going to be great for him. I do recall who you're talking about. He has a lot of great things, great knowledge of football already. So the transition is not going to be much harder for him. It's just about implementing a few tweaks, a few bad habits, and it's going to be fine.
Yeah, and especially because now the game is bigger. Now the field, especially the length of the field and the passes that he needs to do, everything is way bigger. The scale is bigger now compared to flag football that he was used to play. So I think that's probably the main thing that he needed to worry about. And also, this is for Miguel, his knees. The knee was always bending inside, but this is a thing for Miguel, that Miguel is always saying, watch the knee. So this is something that he needs to pay attention. But like you said, is the little details, and to have someone, well, not as young as we would like to have, like for example, a 14 or 16-year-old a player, but still a young player in a very
Good
essential
position.
to be able to develop him. I think that's a very good opportunity that you have. I'm jealous of you of having that, and but I think it still will be very special.
Absolutely. You know, we're all in the same realm of things. You know.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. We're just evolving the sport up north here, and whichever way we could help each other in that place, you know, we're gonna do so.
Absolutely. I hope I still win some flag football tournaments with him at quarterback. So
Absolutely.
You can also practice to go for the Olympic Games
in 2018.
Yeah.
2028.
Okay, yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal.
Yeah, why not? Well, the world's
working towards it and just continue to bring awareness to it more than anything.
Yeah, I think that's the key. It's bringing awareness to the sport.
Right.
Umaru asked in the comments, Awal, do you want a beer? Umaru asked in the comments.
Umaru, stop being a drunk person, please. Awal is a professional coach.
That's basically a sentence I remember Umaru telling you every practice. Hey, Awal, you want a beer? And out of nowhere, like in the middle of the game, in the middle of practice, he would always ask you if you wanted a beer. He's a very nice guy.
That doesn't mean that he's... Yeah, it doesn't mean that he's being...
a very funny guy.
True. So, Awal, do you have any more questions, Meet? I have my last question, my prash.
Do it.
Okay, so Awal, to end up the podcast, we normally do a question that is it's a classic question. It's a nice question. So, do you know Space Jam?
Movie Space Jam.
Yeah, the first one with Michael Jordan.
I do recall of it.
Yes.
Not much, but I do recall.
Okay. So you know that the monsters steal the powers from the NBA players, right?
Okay.
Okay. If you were a monster, which player in Europe would you steal? I don't know if you know a lot of players in Europe. Okay. Which Europe player would you steal? Europe, no. A player that plays in Europe that you steal, and a player from the NFL that you steal. A player or a coach. It can be any. You can have any. It can. It's completely up to you. It can be because he's fat, because he's tall.
So as far as the players, if any player that I want to be in Europe, I would say he goes by the name of Awal Umaru.
Yeah, man, bro. I'm sorry. I am sorry. You cannot. That's not allowed. I saw in the books. You cannot. It's not allowed. But apart from you, man, come on.
As for coaching wise, quite honestly, I'm influenced by a lot of people. Their different coaching styles, and that goes hand in hand. So why, even these days, I know I shouldn't say this, but I will say it. I still don't have a favorite team because I more so like strategies and personnels, you know, and that's what I'm watching for during games. And I don't have a favorite team. I just like to watch.
Yeah, but you are running away from the question, Awal. The question is, which NFL player would you steal the power? A player or coach? It doesn't need to be a coach. It doesn't need to be a player. Which one would you steal? Huh?
You need to save the Earth. You need to steal someone's powers to save the Earth. Who would you steal?
Right now, any player or coach, NFL players. NFL players would work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ability to win 7 Super Bowls like Tom Brady. You know, 8. Was it 8?
7.
Yeah. Those are superpowers I'll steal.
The Billy Belichick.
Absolutely. No, I'm not necessarily.
No. He said Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Right.
He said Tom Brady. To win 7 Super Bowls like Tom Brady.
Okay, I was gonna say I would steal the seriousness of Billy Belichick. Fuck, he's always serious.
Absolutely. That works out too.
Yeah, damn. Okay, that's nice. And Europe, okay, you It's okay. We
In Europe,
normally do this
he's
question.
the best player in Europe.
Right, absolutely. I still myself.
Yeah, but you have to start seeing some ELF. So
Absolutely, I keep up with all those, and quite honestly, the other teams we played up there is great as well for me. But again, I'm bigger than that aspect of the game. I'm more so in the ambassador stages of the game where I'm trying to develop the game.
yeah,
But that's where I am with it.
yeah. But ELF,
And
it's
hopefully soon
it can be a goal.
retired like Tom Brady. Please help my game plan.
And stop hitting your microphone. But it's I think one good goal or one first goal would be like LFL now is starting to become a goal to a lot of players and a lot of coaches, because it's still not really that big, but it's growing a lot, especially with this year just work when the Vikings getting into the league. So it did a huge step, and it's gonna get 2 or 3 more teams. So it's really growing, and the players are going from there to the IPP, the international pathway, which is
Right. And that's a great thing,
yeah, exactly.
It's a great thing. It's a great thing for Europe, and at the end of the day, that should be our goal here.
Yeah.
As I keep harping on.
Okay, well, do you want to say your goodbye? Oh, sorry. What?
I said that's the end of the end goal. It's just evolve our teams to the point that we're able to get into that market.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many weeks will you need to start playing QB?
Bruno Pintão asking.
Pintão asks how many weeks will you need to start playing QB?
I don't know. We'll find out soon.
Oh, by the way,
Well,
will you? The plan is for you to play, right?
That's one of the goals. We'll see. Right now we're in a mix of things, but
okay. So first you are a coach, and then you are a player. It's more like that.
My end goal is winning.
Okay.
it's not me trying to steal anything. Not me doing the questions. Hey, don't look at me.
No, because it's sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, it's more so about coming up with a great base for my team.
Yeah.
That's about me,
Yeah.
If I could help my team out in every way possible, if it requires me being on the field, great. That's what I'll have to be. What I'll have to do. If it doesn't require me, then I don't have to be. Wherever my team needs me the most is where I'm going to be.
Yeah. I know that
Very
political correct.
answer.
Yes, very political correct answer.
Correct answer.
But I understand what you mean, because even you as a coach is already a huge step up. So yeah,
Right.
you probably will play some games, but it's also playing is also hard to coach or to be the head coach while you're playing. That's hard also. So
yeah, it's just once with a right structure, we hope everything moves fluidly.
Yeah, super amazing.
Absolutely.
So Awal, do you want to say your goodbyes? Sorry.
Very well. Besides the games that you're going to play against me. But hey, I hope everything goes accordingly to plan. Besides when you play against me. Hey,
Corona, you get Corona.
One will be there.
Absolutely, bro. It's always going to be a great matchup against you and you guys.
Yeah.
You can feel my guys out there as well.
Yeah.
I hope so.
It will be.
I know everybody's kept up with what we had going, and the end goal is just to see everybody do good.
Oh, I have a question,
absolutely.
Awal. Do you know if the Mutts are scheduling some streams for the live games?
That's going to be one of the things that we're working towards, and we will stream the games. It's in the work. It's in the work right now.
Okay.
One of the things we facilitated with management, and that should be out. They should broadcast that out pretty soon, if not sooner than later.
Okay. So I just know if you need some help with Futebol Americano Brazil, also helps the Crusaders with the layouts. So if you have problems with the layouts, they help you with that. Just the layouts like for the for the games. But Awal, the conversation is over. Do you want to say your goodbyes?
I just want to say, more so than anything, thank you guys for having me. It's always a pleasure seeing you guys. Ned, to see you in good shape.
Thank you.
Ardo, I love the haircut, bro.
Man, it was in a five-star hotel. It was a special haircut.
I love it. It's good to always see you guys, and more so than anything, it's good to be back here, and I hope to see you guys very soon as planned, and see the rest of the guys that are watching this live, and and all the rest of the teams.
Okay, Meet, your goodbyes.
I want to say thank you for your time and being able to be here again. And it's always great to talk with you. And it's going to be even greater to meet you in the field again. And I want to thank everyone that is listening, and especially to Kappa, because they are always there. And Ricardo knows that I always give them props.
Man, these guys.
Don't forget next time to be speaking Portuguese here in the podcast. Do your homework. And
Portuguese.
Very good. Do your homework in learning Portuguese.
Absolutely, that's the goal. We're working on it.
Yeah, I keep saying why don't they change like the name of the gang? It's Kappa, and before it was Kappa Kappa. It's
still Kappa Kappa. But
oh my god, it's so bad. I so bad. If I didn't know the guys, I will be worried.
Ask them what's about them, Awal. Ask them what's about them. They will tell you.
Yeah, we're saying let's go Kappa. Let's go K. Okay. So I will say my goodbyes in okay, thank you all for coming. It was really nice to see you, although we talk because you're a friend of mine, but it's nice to be seeing you and to having this conversation with you. Although it's super hard to take out something from you because you are super professional in this kind of question and so this kind of talking. It's so hard every time. But you practice good. But thank you very, very, very much for coming here, and to everybody that understands English. Thank you for coming here. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to the channel. Obrigado por terem vindo. Espero em princípio na próxima semana vamos estar aqui mais uma vez. Obrigado, Meet, por teres vindo. Ele estava todo partido e apareceu. É fixe. Está ali de cadeira de rodas. Não está nada.
Não, só uma coisa que está partida. Agora o resto está ótimo.
Ok, é o cérebro. Mas obrigado por terem.
É só o fígado.
Obrigado por terem participado. Botem o like no vídeo, partilhem aí com os vossos amigos e subscrevam ao canal para nos ajudar a crescer. E vemo-nos para a semana. Tchau, tchau.